There's a famous quote many people repeat confidently, but historians say the person is attributed to never said it. If you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. It's often attributed to the famous abolitionist Frederick Douglass. But here's the thing. Historians have carefully studied Douglass's speech and writings, and they could not find any evidence that he actually said it. In fact, if you read his biography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, he argued the exact opposite, that reading and literacy were the pathway to freedom. So, how did the quote that contradicts his philosophy become widely accepted as something he said? This is where human behavior becomes fascinating. Psychologists describe a phenomenon called the illusory truth effect. The idea is simple. When people hear something repeated often enough, it begins to feel true, even when there is no evidence. There's a second phenomenon at play as well, authority bias. When a statement is attributed to a respected figure, a sage in quotes, people tend to accept it without scrutiny. So what happens? A statement gets repeated, it gets attached to a famous name, and over time, people start believing it. Eventually, some even begin to act in ways that reinforce the statement itself. Anthropologists sometimes call this a self-fulfilling prophecy, when beliefs gradually shape behavior until the belief appears to be true. Now, here's where the lesson becomes relevant for organizations and HR leaders. Every organization runs on stories and sayings. You hear things like, "This is how things are done here. Leadership already knows the answer. Don't challenge senior management." At first, they're just casual remarks, but repeated often enough, they become organizational truths. Over time, employees start behaving in ways that align with these narratives, even if no policy actually says so. And suddenly, you created a culture where people don't speak up, innovation slows down, and assumptions quietly become reality. So here's the takeaway. Not every quote that sounds wise is true. Not every belief that feels real was ever examined. Whether in society or inside organizations, culture is often built on the stories we repeat without questioning. Culture is often built not on fact, but on statements repeated long enough to feel like fact. Wise leaders therefore do one important thing. They periodically pause and ask, is this actually true, or is it just something we've repeated long enough to believe? Because sometimes the most powerful cultural change begins with questioning a sentence everyone else takes for granted. And sometimes the most dangerous sentence in an organization is not the wrong policy, it is the unchallenged saying. I would like to know, what's one truth in your organization that people repeat or rarely question? Are there instances like that in your organization? Caller here, trying to clarify.